Now is the time for Desert Oracle Radio, the voice of the desert.
Night has fallen on the desert and it's Christmas time. Or Christmastide, as it was called for so long, until over time the word tide became the word time in common usage, which also means tide. Time is Old English and tide is Old Norse. They both meant season or appointed hour, that sort of thing. Could be a festive season or the hour when the sea rose up or decreased from the mysterious power of the moon. Good tidings means good news or Godspell in Old English. Good story, good message. So if Gandalf brings you evil tidings, that just means he heard the bad news and he had to deliver it to you. But maybe he'll be back again with glad tidings when the tide has turned, when things have changed for the better. As for the ocean tides, we don't worry too much about that in the American desert. The water sloshing around the bathtub rings of Lake Havasu or Lake Powell is caused by wind or sudden heavy snowmelt, monsoons and feeder canyon floods, dumping rain just out of sight, just up the bend. Or maybe a houseboat ran into you. Or the dam engineer fell asleep on the red button that says drain reservoir. In time, tides became the regular rise and fall of the sea, with the English adding the high and low descriptors, which led over time to the Blondie song, The Tide is High. Originally recorded by the Jamaican rocksteady trio, the Paragons, in 1967. Written by lead vocalist and later reggae star John Holt, who had his own hit with a cover song in 1974 when his version of Chris Christopherson's Help Me Make It Through the Night spent 11 weeks on the UK charts, peaking at number 6.
Desert Oracle Radio.
Here in the Mojave Desert, it is warmer than it has been on average these past dozen winters or so. Or Christmastides, I should say. Unless you're hearing this show after December 21, and then it's officially winter, after the winter solstice that brings us officially into the cold quarter of the year. Very pleasant, even if it's not very chilly. Very pleasant except for all the weeds growing after our late rains this year. Weeds including the hated goat heads and ragweed. The nights are cool, as they always are this time of year, but not yet very cold. But I bring tidings of new weather to come. For the Yucca Valley Joshua Tree metropolitan area, your forecast for Christmas Eve day is cool and cloudy, with up to an inch of rain and maybe a dusting of snow in the mountains. If we are lucky, we shall awake on Christmas Eve and see the little San Bernardino Mountains that range through Joshua Tree National Park, all dressed up for the holidays, or not. We'll know when we know. Christmas Day will be cool and overcast, with some light showers. Mid-40s Fahrenheit on the night before Christmas, with a low of 43 on Christmas Day. And later on that blessed day, or the Friday morning after, the golden sun will break out and we should have a gorgeous holiday weekend in the desert. Highs around 57 with lows finally in Winterland, 38 degrees. So remember, if you have an acre or 5 full of rattlesnakes and other such friends, bring them inside. If you're cold, they're cold. Now, some parts of our Southwest have what you might call classic Christmas weather. The higher the elevation, the more likely you will see that blessed winter snow. The more likely you will be surrounded by pinyon and juniper, our evergreen friends, home to bird and beast. But even in such lands, you will find holiday traditions that are unique, unknown to those in the Great Lakes or New England or the teeming cities. Let's take the rightly famous example of Santa Fe, which means Saint Fe, or sacred faith. Fe and faith and fate, all etymological birds of a feather. People come from all over to see Santa Fe dressed up for the holidays. People come from all over to see Santa Fe dressed up for the holidays. Some say it's the prettiest Christmas town anywhere. The ancient pueblos, 8 in all, have their winter feast festivals throughout the month. There's snow skiing in the mountains and Las Posadas when the travails of Joseph and Mary are recreated as they travel in candlelit procession from the plaza to the Palace of the Governors, where everybody sings carols and has some hot apple cider. But this happens early in the month. It was December 7 this year. I missed it by one night last time I did a winter Desert Oracle show in Santa Fe. Maybe next time. You might still be able to see and hear the Santa Fe Desert Choral Group at their annual Carols and Lullabies in the beautiful Cathedral Basilica of St. Francis of Assisi. And then comes the best night of all, Christmas Eve, with the Canyon Road Farolito Walk. We had our Santa Fe-born friend Anna Merlin on the show a few years back on the Christmas show, describing this lovely pedestrian procession down this narrow, winding residential road where all the houses are done up with decorations and the famed Los Farolitos. A name that should never be translated because candle in a brown paper bag weighed down by dirt just doesn't get to the beauty of these Christmas Eve flickering lanterns. Thousands show up to walk this ancient road, lined as you're closer to town with art galleries and old adobe homes and restaurants and cantinas. Most people are there for sundown or earlier to get a spot. But you can go whenever. Some say the crowds are thin by 8 p.m. or so, but it's sort of fun to be in the slow-moving, good-hearted mob of revelers on Christmas Eve, free and open to all. But there's absolutely no convenient parking. Just walk. They also ask that you leave your massive four-wheel drive baby strollers with Bluetooth and your murderous rescue pit bulls or whatever. Leave them somewhere else. You can bring the babies. Babies enjoy it. But you gotta carry them. It's good for your back. There are similar traditions throughout New Mexico, but the farolitos are generally called luminarias in the southern half of the state. This is an important distinction to some people, and we should honor such distinctions, I suppose, because it's the only way to save our remaining local and regional traditions, our folkways, our culture. And if you're up by the Taos Pueblo, there's a wonderful Christmas Eve procession with a statue of the Virgin Mary carried all through the ancient habitation, very much as things were done in the 1600s. The procession begins after Vespers Mass in the San Geronimo Church. Ahead of the Holy Virgin, a group of Pueblo men with hunting rifles occasionally fire into the sky ahead to frighten off the bad spirits, to make way for the faithful. So watch out up in the front. On Christmas Day itself, the solemn deer dance is performed. Some years, most years. And sometimes you can experience such things, you meaning a visitor, an outsider, not a member of the tribes, etc. This ritual often involves the sacred clowns, no kidding. If you've read one of our secret Bibles here at Desert Oracle Radio, the Death and Resurrection Show, you know something of these ancient comedians who metaphorically flip the tables. They bring chaos and magic, all to clear the air, to mark the turn of the year. That book, by the way, it has a nickname as it circulates amongst performers, acrobats, comedians. It's called the Clown Bible. Again, not kidding. Long out of print. Like all such sacred events, the things that happen at the Pueblo and the holidays are strictly no technology times, no phone videos for your TikTok, etc. Appreciate these rare moments away from the poisonous air devil devices in your pockets and purses, or too often in your hands. You know what they say about the devil and idle hands. What I mean to say is it's partly cloudy, partly sunny, depending on your levels of optimism for Santa Fe on Christmas week. Highs around 57 with a low of 38 on Christmas Day. About the same for Taos. Just a few degrees warmer in Albuquerque, mid-60s on Christmas Eve and Day. And don't forget New Year's Eve in the plaza if you're in Santa Fe. Very cheerful pinyon bonfires in the cold, dry night. Everybody sings Auld Lang Syne and Las Mañanitas, sneaking a nip from the pint bottle in your coat pocket. And then here comes 2026.
santo te las cantamos aquí. Despierta, mi bien, despierta, mira que ya amaneció. Ya los pajarillos cantan, la luna ya se retiró.
In Las Vegas, Nevada, not New Mexico, the holiday traditions are a little different. The mob used to wrap burning Christmas lights around their victims, who were then dropped out of planes, out past the east end of Flamingo Road. The Elvis minister at the all-night wedding chapel wears a Santa hat and he sweats a little bit more. And there are many expensive spectacles that tourists and well-heeled locals buy tickets to see months in advance. Usually tough to see that stuff, but it's been a pretty dead year for Vegas, tourist-wise. So who knows, maybe you can get some last-minute, fairly priced tickets for the extravaganzas. Sam's Town and a chocolate factory called Ethel M have some interesting and festive holiday displays and activities. I think they have snow of some kind at Sam's Town. And Ethel M, the chocolate factory, has a cactus garden that's all lit up like the Dickens. And everybody says don't miss the Christmas lights and displays at the Bellagio Conservatory and Botanical Garden. Inside the Bellagio, but free admission. I've never been to any of these things, and I imagine any sort of indoor attraction with more than 100 people or so would make me feel a little nervous. How to get out? Where's the desert? As Merle Haggard wrote, every front door finds me hoping I would find the back door open. I think about that line a lot these days. Around Las Vegas and Clark County, days will reach 64 for Christmas Eve and Christmas itself. Windy, but likely no rain. Mid-40s at night, dropping to a low of 33 degrees by Sunday. To see the traditional Las Vegas Christmas colors, drive through a Roberto's at night and gaze in wonder at the guacamole and red salsa on your taquitos. Now let's talk about Tucson, where you can generally expect very mild Christmas weather. Hopefully in that sweet zone between pretty nice out and, come on, 90 degrees on Christmas. That ain't right. 77 on Christmas Eve Wednesday, 75 on the day itself. Mid-50s at night, just perfect. Unless you're a girl, in which case you'll be cold. So bring a stylish winter coat for the Christmas night stroll, wherever it might be. The Winter Haven neighborhood has long been the place for an evening stroll on either night. And there's usually some lively Christmas music played by real people. And vendors of tamales and other such holiday foods. Tohono-Chul Park, just off North Oracle Road, has a famous local holiday nights program, and the last night for this year is December 21. Again, that's the solstice. Up the road in Phoenix, where I spent several Christmases as a kid, there are some traditions that have mostly faded. One I remember was outside Goldwater's, the big department store where everybody went Christmas shopping. Kids from the Gila Reservation used to set up outside to sell desert mistletoe with its deep red berries, which they gather off the mesquite and palo verdes and catclaw, where it grew on the branches each year. The Boy Scouts used to sell mistletoe, the European kind, at the Christmas tree lots. I guess that has faded as well. But it's not too late to bring back such traditions. If you're in the Arizona desert, just walk out to a wash somewhere and take some desert mistletoe off the ironwood, off whatever tree it's living on. The tree will appreciate it, but you might get cussed out by what they call the silky flycatcher in Arizona, parts of Arizona. That's our beloved crested phainopepla. That's Greek for shining robe. And yeah, we've got desert mistletoe in the Joshua Tree High Desert too. And the phainopepla bird just loves it. Lives off the red berries. And then rewards its host by dropping those semi-digested red berries on our cars. Usually the roof. Well, speaking of Phoenix, as we were, if that's where you will be for the holiday week, you were getting a rare blue Christmas, rain on the eve and the day, maybe a half-inch total. Mild daytime temperatures of about 74 degrees, pleasant nights around 60. Now, I already read a visit from St. Nicholas this Christmas season on the last episode of the Eldritch Republic. These are the Weird American History episodes that should be appearing alongside your other Desert Oracle Radio episodes. So tonight I thought I'd read a few lines from a man once known as the Poet Ranchman of Texas. William Lawrence Chittenden, born in 1862. This is the Cowboys' Christmas Ball. Way out in western Texas, where the Clear Forks waters flow, where the cattle are a-browsing and the Spanish ponies grow, where the northers come a-whistling from beyond the neutral strip, and the prairie dogs are sneezing as if they had the grip, where the coyotes come a-howling round the ranches after dark, and the mockingbirds are singing to the lovely meadowlark, where the bobcat and the badger and rattlesnakes abound, and the monstrous stars are winking o'er a wilderness profound, where lonesome tawny prairies melt into airy streams, while the double mountains slumber in heaven kinds of dreams, where the antelope is grazing and the lonely plovers call. It was there that I attended the Cowboys' Christmas Ball. The town was Anson City, Old Jones's county seat, where they raised up Angus cattle and waving whiskered wheat, where the air is soft and balmy and dry and full of health, and the prairies all exploded with agricultural wealth, where lives that good old hunter John Millsap from Lamar, who used to be the sheriff back east in Paris, sir. 'Twas there, I say, at Anson with the lovely Widow Wall, that I went to their reception, the Cowboys' Christmas Ball. The boys had left the ranches and come to town in piles. The ladies, kind of scattering, had gathered in for miles. And yet the place was crowded, as I remember well. 'Twas got for the occasion at the Morning Star Hotel. Oh, come on. Well, let's hear a few more lines. The music was a fiddle and a lively tambourine, and a viola came imported by the stage from Abilene. The room was togged out gorgeous with mistletoe and shawls, and candles flickered frescoes around the airy walls. The women folk looked lovely, the boys looked kinda treed, till their leader commenced a yellin', "Whoa, fellers, let's stampede." And the music started sighing and a wailing through the hall as a sort of introduction to the Cowboys' Christmas ball. Oh, well. You know, he was born in New Jersey and he died in New York. I wonder if he ever saw the West at all. The Cowboys' Christmas ball. I hope you have something nearly half as grand going on. From Amboy to Zizix and across the Great Mojave Wilderness, this is Desert Oracle Radio, broadcasting from Joshua Tree on Z1077 KCDZ FM on your car radio. This show is supported by good listeners like you at desertoracle.com or patreon.com/Desert Oracle. Speaking of, thanks to David D. and the OC, and also to Wendy W. up in San Francisco for the nice holiday treats. And thanks to RedBlueBlackSilver for the Christmastide soundscapes. You can hear more of him at Bandcamp. Just look up RedBlueBlackSilver, spelled like it sounds. Merry Christmas to you all. Thank you for listening. I hope you have a real nice holiday week. And good night from the voice of the desert.